Hello and welcome to another Trading 212 series. This is the episode for November. For people that don't know me, or even this is the first time of coming onto my channel, I'm Working Dad Trader. My aim of my channel is to try and get people like myself, a working parent, to think about their financial future and the children's financial futures, and try and progress and get out of this rat race that we're all in of just working all the time and not really seeing any benefits. For full disclosure, my main portfolio is in a stocks and shares ISA with Hargreaves Lansdown. Within that fund, I have lots of indexes, ETFs, and some managed funds. I just find that the main safest way. But for the Trading 212 series, I set up a second account, which I will obviously show you, where then I individually pick individual stocks just to show you how difficult it can be and how tricky maybe it could be or easy it could be to trade just single stocks within the stock market. So as you can see, this is my Trading 212 portfolio. At the moment, the balance is slightly down at minus 0.3. It started the month at the start of the month of November. It was at plus 4%. It got up to just over 7% at the 15th of November. But then there's been a lot happening since then. There's been quite a big tech sell-off, and now the last few days, literally, has been this now, obviously a new variant of the coronavirus that's appeared, and that's obviously got the stock market panicking again, and things have plummeted again. So yeah, it's been a proper crazy year, really hard to predict. So at the minute, it's pretty much break even with 1 month left to go, which is December, which historically is normally a strong month, but most things have not followed normal patterns this year. When you think maybe you might see some improvement or things going the right way, things have come back and normally shot you in the foot. So it's been really quite difficult. And I remember saying this in January. If you go back and look at my January 212 portfolio video, I said I could foresee this being a really difficult year, and it has definitely turned out that way. Obviously, I'm not going to go back over stuff we've gone over it before, but one of the main reasons my portfolio is being dragged down is my investment into Chinese stocks, Alibaba and Tencent. I've had obviously terrible years, and this has had a massive drag down on my portfolio. Again, at the start of the year, these were two great companies, and again, no one foresaw that the Chinese government was going to have this massive crackdown, and this is what's happened. You know, especially Alibaba, which is my second biggest holding. It's just obviously tanked this year. I'm still confident in the company, so I'm hoping for next year. But these are just lessons that you can learn. Even when you look at a company and it looks great, different factors can affect stocks that obviously you're unaware of. So I'm not going to bore people with going back over why the Chinese stocks are down, but it's having a massive effect on my portfolio, obviously. One of the other ones is Avon Protection. They are a UK company that supply defensive equipment, as in for like body armor, sort of masks, this type of stuff for like soldiers and stuff like that. They had lots of big contracts, especially in the US. Again, at the start of the year, there was a company that I invested in because they had some really good contracts. It looked quite positive, but then one of their products that they were selling to some of these companies, especially in the US, with this protection equipment, body protection, they were found to have faults with some of the equipment. So a lot of this had to be obviously recalled and then corrected and fixed, and this has had a massive effect on the company. That's obviously a big cost to fix what was wrong. And obviously the stock has nosedived again on that stock. So again, something that I could never foresee, but you learn from these mistakes that obviously you can pick a company and think it looks great, but then a few months down the line, things can happen, and this is what's happened to this stock. I still think it's a good company, and it's got a lot of scope maybe next year once they sort these problems out. They've got big contracts in place, and they're going to have to deliver them at more of a cost than they thought. But there's not much competition that they have as far as supplying this equipment. So I'm hoping that the stock can have a better 2022. Okay, so for stocks that have come in and out of my account in the month of November, stocks that I've sold are Lockheed Martin and Key Holdings, the Chinese firm. I took small profits on both of them, especially Key Holdings, which went quite well for me. That was just do it like a Chinese estate agent. Obviously, with a lot going on with the Chinese housing market, it did quite well, surprisingly, considering that it's sort of gone down. So I took a good profit on that one. Stocks I've been buying, obviously, with all that's been happening the last 2 weeks with the S&P 500, the pullback, etc. I've been buying quite a lot of the Vanguard SP 500. Other companies I bought is Grow Generation, which is a US sort of cannabis plant-based farm. Again, really small position I bought into that. With that company, again, I'm just sort of at some point the cannabis is going to start getting legalized in from just normal use in the US, etc. So I just took a very small position in that company. Whether that works out or not, I'm not sure. The other one I bought is a REIT, which is a REIT called Ventus, and they do a lot of sort of buildings and housing for sort of the older generation, like elderly homes, etc. And they also do lots of healthcare buildings, etc. And with a massively growing older population in the world, and they sort of operate in the US and the UK, I thought that might be an interesting REIT to get into, and there could be some nice money in sort of the rent they're paying, etc., to have these retirement homes, etc. And they do pay a dividend of about 3.4%. So I just again took a small position in this REIT, just with an eye on sort of the older sector and sort of the healthcare sector in one, that they sort of have a position in both. Okay, I just wanted to finish off this video with just looking at the charts for the S&P 500, just to sort of have a look at what is possibly going on with the stock market at the moment. Obviously, in the last few weeks, the last few days, we've seen a drop, especially with the scare of this new variant that's around the world and how it could possibly spread. If we look at the S&P 500 now, as you can see, the red line on my chart is the 25 moving average, the yellow line is the 50 moving average, and the light blue line is the 100 moving average. So you can see the stock market has gone below the 25 moving average, but they're still fanned out nicely in an upward trend. But where is the stock market going to go at the moment? Obviously, it's hard to predict, but we can look at possible clues of what it might happen. If we look back into the past, we can see that it in the past has gone below. When it's gone below the 25 moving average, it's gone down and hit the yellow line, which is the 50 moving average. So that could be a possible support area. I've marked it up on the chart, as you can see the big blue, dark blue line, as a possible area of a support, which is 4,550. So it possibly might go all the way down to this blue line and bounce off that. That would be a possible support level, and that would come in nicely hitting the yellow moving average. We just have to wait and see. I think for the next few days there could be there's a lot of uncertainty of what this new variant is going to do and how worrying it's going to be. There might be some fear in the market, so we might see a bit of a pullback. But I don't anywhere expect it to be a huge drop. But so that's where possibly it might come down and hit that line and go back up. So yeah, that's where we are. Like I say, historically December is a good month, but who knows this year? It's just been a crazy year. So to me, I'll just be glad when 2021's over and then we can start planning for 2022. I'd really appreciate if you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help my channel and helps me do more videos and work and try and provide some insights and give you some information and some tips on how to tackle the stock market. Okay, I hope to see you soon. Take care.